Before the fall of communism in Poland, Solidarity, which stood for unity, rose to fight against the injustices imposed by communist policies. A large number of the Polish people joined this group in a successful effort to demand justice and to promote a more liberal, democratic form of government. Recently, after the threats against racial minorities at Mizzou, Yale University students, among others, started a powerful trend claiming, "To the students of color at Mizzou, we stand with you in solidarity." And another recent ongoing international concern has been that of Syria and the 11 million fleeing refugees seeking asylum. The support for these people, while it exists, is hauntingly low. Solidarity and compassion across peoples and countries has not come through for them. Now, I implore all of us to ask ourselves, what do these three things have in common? My answer is this: different kinds of people being subjected to different kinds of oppression and/or discrimination, respectively communism, racial discrimination, and domestic terrorism. Why are international states refusing to open their arms to people struggling for their lives? Why is nationalism prevailing over a massive violation of human rights? Why can we not recognize that humans deserve to be saved by other humans regardless of nationality, ethnicity, economic class, and the like? There are reasons. The governments of the United States, almost the entirety of Eastern Europe, and more are not turning their backs without thought. Eastern Europe does not feel they can support the Muslim population and therefore require refugees to only be Christian. They also do not feel that they have recovered since the fall of communism, and if they cannot support their own people, how can they support an influx of refugees? Valid. So what is the United States saying? They are saying that the Syrian refugee crisis presents a national security issue. That also sounds valid, but the vetting process for these people is extreme, 2 years in duration. So perhaps suggesting the vetting process is thorough is an understatement. It is sad to see that this great nation, envisioned by our founding fathers to serve as a city upon a hill, has strayed so far off course. 2 months ago, the United States federal government released a statement announcing their commitment to bring in 10,000 Syrian refugees. This was met with strong opposition from 31 states and hesitation from many others. Of the 22 million people in Syria, 11 million, 50%, have fled from their homes. They run from the same things or people that we in America are frightened of. The same things the original colonists to America ran from: oppression. Now, imagine for a minute that your home country erupted into a civil war with terror groups running rampant. You and your family are part of half the country attempting to flee for your lives, but no one is helping you. Countries around the world are shutting their doors because they believe that you, the ones trying to escape these atrocities, are aiding terrorism and spreading it into the world. Would that not be terrible? At what point is the slight risk of a national security issue more important than the safety and security of thousands of people who may be murdered by this very same security issue? I have so many questions about this, and I cannot seem to understand why the world is not coming to the table. Standing up for people who aren't in a position to protect themselves is so important, and we as human beings have a duty to show ISIS, show corrupt regimes, show racist groups that they will not win. That we, standing in the sun, will not allow members of humanity to be murdered, threatened, or oppressed. That we will protect. The core of what makes us human and the reason we have survived for countless generations is because of our compassion and ability to act as a single, cohesive unit. If we look at any major accomplishment or movement the world has seen, it happens through a combined effort of people from all different backgrounds. This progress happens when people are invested in a common cause for achievement and advancement. Yes, there is a need for every country to have a sense of nationalism, but there should also be a sense of duty to every nation and people who endures oppression. This solidarity is not just from country to country, but should be manifested in our daily lives. The quote my sister read earlier states, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." The ideals that founded America gave safe haven to those struggling for liberty all over the world. They gave people from all different backgrounds the idea of America. The idea that liberty was not just for those with privilege, but for all, paved a new path for the world. We must keep with these ideals. As economics and politics come to dominate our lives, we must remember what truly matters. And hopefully the idea of America as a community will continue on into the world. Oscar Arias states, the 20th century has been marked by cynicism, selfishness, greed, and the desire to please, all without changing the status quo. In the 21st century, we must resurrect solidarity and compassion. This compassion is not with any one nation or government, but with people like you and me. There's an argument that humans cannot feel the sense of community with others around the world because they focus on their own surroundings and problems. Is this not misplaced? If there's a man or woman in Iraq battling for his or her life against terror groups, or a kid growing up on the streets not knowing when he will eat next, is it not the duty of every human to speak out against that injustice? We do not need to see their struggles to empathize with their pain. Empathy, however, is not the end goal. It must surpass in emotion and extend into action, for with no action there will be no change, and we will never see this world in a moment of peace. Why does this matter? Why should we care about problems that do not directly affect us? In our close bubble, we are protected against atrocities in the worst parts of human nature, but I guarantee it matters. The person sitting next to us might feel the effects of racism or terrorism, and we may not know it. However, it should not matter if you have a personal connection to a humanitarian issue. Any infringement on the rights of any human should be considered personal. It is an attack that may happen to us one day, and we would not want people turning their backs on us. Our generation will be at the forefront of all social injustices and political and humanitarian movements. It is up to us to decide the path we want the world and humanity to go down, because without us standing in solidarity, we will see the world erupt into perpetual war.